Hey, welcome back. It is Tim Meek. I am at the midway point in my TMS therapy, so I wanted to make an update and say how things are going. And freaking awesome. I was not a believer when I first went into TMS therapy. After the first week, I was like, there might be something to this. Midway through it, I am 100% a believer of it. It has absolutely changed the outlook on life that I hold, the way I interact with people. I'm holding conversations, I'm starting conversations, holding eye contact. Like, this might not sound like much if this is something you already do, but for someone who's suffered from depression all their life to the point where it makes them super insecure to interact with other folks, huge. Today we did kind of the halfway point recap to take measures of where I started at, where I was, and we're going to continue to do that weekly at this point. And it's amazing. Like, on paper, my depression is halved, and in the same chart, my anxiety is almost non-existent, which is the coolest thing. I didn't realize how much anxiety had been holding me back from doing the things that I just would enjoy doing, or from being the parent that I want to be, taking my kids out in public. Like, we would just keep them at the house because I didn't want to be around other people. Looking back, that's so selfish on my part, but I could not help it. Like, my anxiety would not let me get out and enjoy it, or even be able to relax and just be in the moment. That's a huge change. It's such an awesome feeling to be able to be present as a father. And my only regret is not looking into this sooner. So that's the update on that. I want to make this video though to kind of give a background as to my depression and anxiety, where it came from, what it was like for me, and then if it's something that you can relate to, well, you're not alone. I can tell you that much. Definitely look into treatment. I avoided treatment like the plague because I thought it was going to be a sign of weakness. And I always thought it was going to be just like, hey, sitting down talking, nothing was going to get accomplished. So I just avoided it. With this type of therapy, it's been very proactive. It's been very aggressive, and it has been remarkable, the changes I've experienced. Growing up, I came from a broken home, and while my parents did the best to provide for myself and my brother, I only got to see my dad twice a year, so I never really had that strong bond, and I was always bouncing from school to school, so I never really established those friendships, that safety net, people to hold myself accountable with. I never really had those relationships, and even to this day, I still struggle with that. And that's just one of those detachments that I've experienced as part of my upbringing that I feel like has really added to my depression, because I never had that group of friends I could reach out to, that group of friends I could just enjoy life with. All through high school, I knew that there was something funky at my house. I could never really put my finger on it, and I didn't find out till probably 10 years ago that my mom is actually schizophrenic. I was so shielded and protected by my family that I didn't realize I had that strange upbringing. Finding that out though, it put a lot of answers for question marks I'd always had, like, why were we always fighting with the neighbors, or why were we always moving around because people were supposedly watching us? And it turns out it was just a mental illness that my mom suffered from. And my brother's been institutionalized since he was 18. He's 31 now. So I'm thankful that I did not inherit that gene. I did definitely inherit the major depressive disorder that my mom suffered from. For me, that also led to anxiety as I became older as an adult. I would be the guy that would never find anything enjoyable in a moment. You could tell me how great something was, and I could give you 3 reasons why it sucked, or why it wasn't awesome, or why I was not loving it. As I got into my mid-20s, it became an insecurity. I would always think, oh, what do these people think of me? They're probably talking about me, so I'm not even going to go there. For me, that led to bouncing around jobs constantly. I would get into a great job, and then that insecurity would kick up that I'm not doing a good job, or I'm not doing things right, or I'm probably going to get fired, so I might as well get in front of the curve and just quit. Probably in my 35 years have worked probably 30 different places. Yeah, that's fun. I shouldn't put that online, but I'm going to do that. Be completely transparent. I never really made the connection between depression, anxiety, and my work output. Seeing it now in hindsight, yeah, it was 100% clear, because now I deal with issues at work. It doesn't even bother me. It's amazing. Like, I've never been like this before, so I really do wish I had discovered TMS before, but I'm very thankful that I have discovered at this point in my life, because it's completely compartmentalized that depression, that anxiety, that insecurity for me at work, and maybe a better employee. The anxiety for me kicked in my early 30s, and I really couldn't pinpoint where it came from. I just know it progressively got worse. When it was at its worst, I just would not leave the house. Family events, forget about it. I'd rather just avoid it. I didn't want to talk to people, and I felt bad because I know they were thinking I had something against them. It was me. I had something against myself. I was absolutely miserable, and that dark cloud just followed me around. It was not a fun experience for anyone that knew me at that point. I mean, anyone that knows me at this point, I'm looking forward to getting those experiences again, to seeing how different it's going to be, putting myself out there. So right now, I'd say my anxiety is almost non-existent after 3 weeks of TMS. The only anxiety I'm really feeling is I'm taking classes right now at USF. We had to switch them back to online because of COVID. So the only thing I'm really freaking out about is one of the classes. I was doing well in person, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do online. But we're going to do our best. We're going to try it out. And then my depression, not really feeling it. Don't have that dark cloud hanging around me. I'm still motivated to get up, go do a great job every day. The only thing I would say as a negative side effect that I've experienced so far has been headaches and maybe a little extra sleepy on occasion. I am so grateful for TMS. I am so grateful for the doctors, for the techs, for all the support that they've shown me, for my work, giving me the opportunity to better myself. They've been really awesome. And then for my wife, she's been the biggest support ever. So I am thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my experience with you. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to the next update.